Long ago, there was a small village nestled between rolling green hills and endless fields stretching beyond the horizon. Life there was simple and peaceful, but not without hardship. Among the villagers lived an old woman, alone in a tiny wooden house that stood quietly beside an ancient banyan tree. Her hair was silver, her face lined with the marks of time, yet her eyes sparkled with warmth and kindness. She was known to everyone as the Keeper of Hope. People respected her deeply because she always offered a listening ear, gentle advice, and a comforting smile. In times of struggle, when hearts grew heavy with worry, her presence brought light. Her smile, soft but steady, was like a small flame in the dark, guiding, comforting, and giving strength to those who needed it most. In a world full of challenges, she reminded the village that kindness and hope could still thrive. The villagers lived by the land, working with their hands and their hearts. When the seasons were good, there was enough food for all. But when droughts came or storms destroyed their crops, hunger and hardship followed. Some fell ill and couldn't afford medicine, while others lost their harvests and worried how they would feed their families. Nights in the village were often quiet, broken only by the soft sighs of those lying awake with worry. Yet even in these hard times, the old woman remained a source of strength, a steady reminder that peace begins with how we choose to see the world. One cloudy afternoon, with light rain falling softly, a young woman named Radha came to see the old woman. Her eyes were red from crying, her face pale from the sleepless nights. Sitting beside the old woman, Radha spoke through trembling lips. "I don't know what to do anymore. My husband left for the city months ago to find work, but he hasn't sent anything back. I'm afraid he's in trouble, or that he's forgotten us. My children are hungry. I feel so tired, so lost." The old woman listened in silence, giving Radha space to release her pain. When Radha's tears slowed, the old woman spoke gently. "My dear, when we let fear take over, our hearts grow heavier. Tell me, what is it you fear most?" Radha lowered her head, overcome by her worries, unable to answer. But in that moment, the weight of her thoughts felt just a little lighter, as if the old woman's calm had already begun to ease her soul. With a kind smile, the old woman wiped Radha's tears and began to share a story. Once, there was a poor man who had nothing. No home, no food, no family. He sat by a river, crying over his misfortune. An old woman passed by and asked him, "Why do you cry, my son?" The man answered, "I have nothing. How can I ever be happy?" The woman looked at him with warmth and said, "But look at what you do have. You have this river to give you water, these trees to give you shade, the sun to warm you, and the sky to remind you of beauty. You have eyes to see, hands to work, and a heart that still beats. If you think only of what you lack, sadness will follow you. But if you see what you have, peace will find you." The man listened, and slowly his tears stopped. He began to see the blessings around him. From that day on, his life changed. Not because magic fixed his problems, but because his thoughts became his strength. He worked hard, and people offered help because they saw his light. You see, my dear, positive thinking won't erase your struggles, but it will give you the courage to face them. The old woman's voice was soft but sure, and Radha felt her heart shift. A small hope took root where fear had lived. From that day, Radha began each morning with new words on her lips. "Today will be a good day. Though her house remained small, her pantry modest, and her husband still away, something in her spirit grew stronger. She found ways to brighten her children's days, teaching them songs, telling stories, playing simple games. She worked harder in the fields, wove baskets to sell in the market, and shared what little she had with neighbors who struggled more. At night, she gave thanks for the roof above, for her children's laughter, for her own strength to carry on. And then, one bright morning, a letter arrived. Her husband had found work at last. He wrote that he was sending money, and he couldn't wait to come home. Overwhelmed with joy, Radha ran to the old woman's house, tears streaming down her face, not of sorrow, but of relief and happiness. The old woman simply smiled and said, "You see, when we fill our hearts with hope, good things find their way to us." Word of Radha's change and the old woman's wisdom spread through the village. Others began visiting the old woman, carrying their worries, poor harvests, sickness, debts. She welcomed them all, listened with patience, and reminded them, "Focus on the good, and strength will follow." Slowly, the village's spirit shifted. People worked together more, shared more, and looked for reasons to be thankful, rather than reasons to despair. The ancient tree beside the old woman's home became a gathering place, a symbol of unity and resilience. The villagers began to see that hope isn't something that comes from the outside. It grows from within, watered by gratitude and courage. And the old woman, she remained the keeper of hope, a guide not with riches or power, but with a heart full of wisdom that changed lives one kind word at a time. Life will always bring challenges. None of us can avoid hardship, but each day we have the power to choose how we face it. Choose gratitude instead of bitterness. Choose hope instead of fear. Choose to see what is good even when times are hard. When we nurture positive thoughts, we invite peace and strength into our hearts. As the old woman taught, no magic is greater than the quiet power of our own minds. A better life begins not with what we have or don't have, but with what we believe and how we choose to see the world around us.